So we came down for a visit.
Sure does, don't it?
Here I am, Brother Hill, who's crouched next beside me. Behind us is Brother Jerry Smith on the far left-hand side, and then another brother I don't know, and then Brother Carlisle. They were members of the Myrtle Beach congregation at that time.
And that's Brother Hale.
The first meeting I ever attended in Myrtle Beach was at the Chamberlain Library.
One that kept me and Ramona together.
Yeah.
One of the faithful sisters here for many years owned the By the Sea Motel. That was Sister Helen Thohar. This is Helen
Hadn't
Shag.
been for them, we'd have never made it through those first
One
ones.
who was in the congregation at that time. And next you'll see Sister Helen Thohar, who owned the motel and who helped in many of the building projects of the Kingdom Hall with financial support. She was one of the earliest witnesses here. This is a picture at a circuit assembly. Sister Annette Blumgren to the left, Sister Thohar, Sister Helen Shagnon, Sister Trainer, and my mother, Alva Petty. Here are the King family. When I first moved here, Fred and Mary were already in the congregation, as well as Ramona.
Is that you or Adam?
The Hells were moved from the Myrtle Beach congregation of Brother and Sister Mailer came in as special pioneers. Before they had come here, they had been in Newfoundland, Canada, and they knew Sandra and Joan Quinton. And Sandra and Joan joined them down here in Myrtle Beach. Now let's hear from Brother Mailer as he describes a lot about the congregation.
And the little Spillane girl.
That's
And
Carl.
Carl is always cutting up. And there's some of the Spillane kids. And Brother Spillane there on the right.
Gordon Kathy.
And let's see, there's Brother Petty from Myrtle Beach.
God, he was so young. I remember when Elton was
There's Betty and Barbara talking together.
about 2 years. You don't remember
And
that?
they passed the camera just
I
now.
remember that.
Fellowship.
Huh?
No, Elson was never.
I believe this was in
Right after him and Sherry.
1961, this convention at Yankee
He
Stadium.
was just fellowship. I remember.
There's Barbara again.
You must have moved away or something.
No, we were living there. He didn't go to meetings for a while.
Oh, Betty is here now, translating from the desk. Talking to one of the brothers there, who's a deaf mute.
I never knew she could do that.
She did
And
that at
another
all
brother.
big assembly.
Also gets in the conversation.
Sister Mother.
And here's Betty talking to him.
She translated the calls. She's up
Look
there.
at her hands go, how fast. Can you understand what she is saying?
There's
All
Nanny.
right, there's Brother Jack Blumben
And her
and his
sister.
wife.
So your sister
And
was Jack and
sister-in-law.
Barbara. Her sister's in the
That's Jack right there.
It looked like twins.
And Barbara Childers.
Her sister had about 13 kids.
Yeah.
Oh,
Close.
yes,
She's close.
Sister Isle, yes. And the little Spillane girl, my brother
That's
Spillane.
Vicky.
And let's see who else is here. And Sister Spillane. And Brother Carlisle. Cutting up as you and get the right profile, he said. Oh yeah, there's Sister Isle again with the Spillane girl, Kathy. And all nations unite under God's kingdom.
That
What
must
a
have been
theme.
in Baltimore.
Sister Shagnon of Myrtle Beach.
I wasn't here at this time. I think we must have moved.
Oh, here we are. Now we're going to Myrtle Beach, and that's Barbara and Sandra. And Hires would be her, of course. And we arrived in Myrtle Beach. There's Brother Petty and Sister Petty and Sandra and Sister Petty's husband and our Betty.
Look at all the
There's Sister Petty and her son, and Sandra sitting there, and Brother Petty sitting in Sister Helen Thohar's yard there beside the swimming pool. Here we are coming out of the meeting for the day.
See June with Madelon.
Publishers there.
Is that Maxine? Look like Michaela.
Betty on the left, Sister Shagnon, Sister Walsh,
There's Donna. the
Oh,
little
that
baby was
dog?
done.
And Sister
That's
Ramona,
me. There's me.
Mayo,
Yeah.
Look at them glasses, Madelon.
and Sister Smith.
It was so pretty though.
And more publishers.
That's Jack and Nanny coming out last.
There's quite a group
And
of them, isn't
Raymond,
there?
that young guy right there.
And Brother Spillane.
Nanny's sister, brother.
There's
There
Ramona.
I am holding Donna.
And they're talking outside for a while. Sister Smith again and Linda. Sister Shaggy's taking some of the publishers home so I should get a shot of her
It
before
shows one more shot of
turning
it.
my
And I kinda
attention
turn
back to
around
the
and
group
look
at the
camera.
hall.
Got
And
them
look
all.
at my glasses.
Here they are again. Sister Solar there.
Now look.
Oh my gosh. You're so skinny.
And Sandra.
That was after I'd had
And Betty are
Donna.
leaving now, apparently. Now Betty's driving to Conway while I'm taking
Going to
pictures
Conway on the
of
old
the
road.
windshield.
2-lane.
We go to Conway to go to a parking lot and contact the
Why do you
public
see
for
Jim?
magazine placements.
How old were you then?
I'm saying I was 21 when that.
Here we are. Sister June Taylor is there,
My age.
Mm-hmm. There's Jim, look.
Oh.
and some of the little kids,
Linda Smith and that other little girl was from Florence.
and Brother Jerry Smith. He lives in Edenton, Georgia now, one of the elders there.
I remember doing that.
And this is his wife, Betty, talking to somebody or other, and she's about to place magazines with him.
So this is
And this is another placement on her part.
Early 60s.
All these scenes, of course, are unrehearsed. These actually occurred. Would you like to take a couple of magazines? They're only 10 cents.
There's Mary King.
And another sister from North Carolina,
Purple-headed
Charlotte.
sister.
Look purple, didn't it?
And Betty and
That's
Sister
just a
Julia
little.
Little.
That's Sister Fiddle and Sister Mailer. Julia. That's her name. I saw her at the theater. She had a bad arm.
And Brother Bill Hollis, sound engineer. And Geraldine
this must be
Strasser and Mary
when I
King
went
and
to
Fred
England.
King. And Mary, you
When I
notice,
moved to
is
Georgia.
sort of expecting, isn't she?
I know I've been in those get-togethers. They have 6 kids. Of course, they're all grown and they've got kids now.
He seems to have a little trouble with that bow there. That's the one we rode in. Uh-oh, he still has more trouble.
Look how good
All right.
she can have it.
And Sister Jean
That was
Topa.
sister they studied with.
And receiving some of the new publications.
They brought her back from the assembly.
She seems to be overjoyed.
I remember her. But I think that was
And there is
the city when I
Ron
lived.
and Carol.
Now, before I explain this picture to you, I'd like to go back to Brother Mailer's pictures and just say that the
That's
Kingdom
Carl.
Hall that you saw those friends coming out of was the old American Legion building across the street from the Myrtle Beach Courthouse. And some of the people that were there, other than the ones he mentioned, were Raymond Clave, who was Annette Blumgren's brother, who was here for a while. And the speaker that day was Brother Frank Martin from Florence. You must have noticed him in the blue, light blue suit.
Yeah, you know, when they were coming out.
This picture is of Carl Quinton. He's there in the bed. He's Sandra and Joan's brother. He was down here for a visit, was in a very serious car accident. He actually broke his neck. And here visiting him in the hospital from the right is Sister Helen Bohar, Mary Fish, Helen Shagnon, and Nita, who is Carl's cousin, and Sandra and Joe's cousin, who was here for a short while in the congregation. Now, the congregation, when I moved here in 1963, was over on 4th Avenue, and this is the Baker family in front of the sign at the Kingdom Hall.
But see, they were
4th
here when
Avenue.
I was in England. I don't remember that. They came and left.
And Sister Little was mentioned at the assembly. This is one of her sons, Philip and Ned.
That's Ned and Greg.
At that
The other
time.
one was Greg, it wasn't Philip.
This is me in 1963. I started pioneering, and I pioneered until
Yeah, I was in
1970.
England.
This is the old van I used to do my cleaning work, and here's myself and Brother Lackey and
Holland
Wayne
Lane.
Hawa and Paul Hawa. Wayne and I pioneered together many years, and Joan Quinton, who was here, pioneered. Myself, this picture was taken in front of Sister McDowell's house. We just had a
Isn't that
Bible
funny how
study. After the
Women
Mailers
not-
left,
remember
Ed
them?
and Joanne Koch came
Remember
here as
them?
special pioneers until
I'm
the
not,
birth of
I wasn't
that-
even born
that's
yet.
right. I forgot.
Ed and Joanne were the last
Ed and Joanne.
three
They-
special pioneer couples that were
They
sent
had
here.
twins
First
while
was
they
the
lived in
Hells,
Myrtle
then the
Beach.
Mailers, and then Ed and Joanne Koch. With the birth of their twins, Jill and Janine, Ed and Joanne were just not able to make it in Myrtle Beach financially and had to move on to Dalton, Georgia. Special pioneers were very important to the congregation at that time because each special pioneer spent 150 hours in field ministry, and at that time they were mostly sent into areas to help start and establish congregations.
They had a son.
Myrtle Beach was a fluctuating congregation between 15 and 35 publishers, and a special pioneer was a very special thing to have in a congregation, just as the name implied. We hated to see them leave. For about a year after Ed and Joanne left, there was no congregation overseer for the Myrtle Beach congregation. And so the rest of us who were here just had to carry on. This is a picture of my mother and myself. We both pioneered during that time. My mother started her pioneering in the 1950s in Roxborough, North Carolina. She continued to pioneer in Horry County in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s.
So almost.
Here's Sister Thohar and Wilma Stroud at the assembly. There's Barbara. And another picture coming up here of Wilma and of Barbara. Now this is Wayne Hawa out in service in Little River. We'd just like to tell you about some of the activity of a pioneer back in those days. Wayne Hawa, Julian Yates, and myself were all pioneering then. And on Mondays we'd have our long day, and we'd stop off at lunch sometimes at this place, get a little recreation during the day. But our long day took us all over Horry County, really, and it was a big assignment because all of Horry County is the largest county in the state of South Carolina. It's actually larger in land area than the state of Rhode Island. So typically we would get up and start our time in Myrtle Beach. We'd go on up to North Myrtle Beach into Little River. We'd go across Highway 9 all the way to Loris. We'd go all the way out to Green Sea Floyd. Here's Loris. We're clowning around for the camera here. That's my little Volkswagen Bug in the background there behind Julian. That Volkswagen cost me brand new about $2,000, and a little less than $2,000. We'd get 30 miles a gallon, and gas was about 30 to 35 cents a gallon. So for $5, you could ride all over the county. That's